to Mono Rants at the Movies, a podcast where we rant about films you may have seen at house parties. We're back to talk all manner of movies now that we're done with season 3 of The Boys. I'm one of your hosts and jack of all trades Mono, and gruffly monologuing about the decline of society is my co-host and master of none, Kira.
You're baby.
Welcome back, Kira. As eloquent as ever.
It's very early.
It is very early, but we're going to crack on and do something a little bit different this week. After 6 weeks of covering deconstructionist superhero stories with the boys, we're going to do something a little different and do 2009's deconstructionist superhero story, Watchmen.
Well, it thematically...
Yeah, ease us back into the movies by covering something very similar.
Well, in fairness, when before there was any boys TV show, when we used to talk to people about the graphic novels, that was how we would explain it was, have you seen Watchmen? You know, the whole who watches the Watchmen? The boys.
Yeah, basically.
Like, that was how we would explain the premise of the comic book to people. So, yeah, it tracks.
Oh, yeah, and I think for all the other films we covered and our sort of tastes, it was bound to get covered at some point.
Yeah.
With that said, probably not a film we love.
No.
Like, I had my issues with it. I think I was a lot harsher about it the first time I watched it when it came out.
I think,
and I've mellowed towards it over the years, but it still has its issues.
Zack Snyder's total body of work,
it's one of the better ones.
It's one of the better ones, and having seen what has come after that and how he's kind of smoothed out some things, because there's very much the issues we have with this are the fact that he sticks way too close to the source material in a way that doesn't work within a movie situation.
Yeah, that's probably my biggest criticism of it.
Music in particular
is that actually that he was too close to the comic book, but I'll kind of get onto that later
now,
on.
The massive edits that they did make, I do think work for a movie setting and were smart choices.
Yeah.
But there's some things that were just unnecessary.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. But
Dr. Manhattan's big blue dong is the most unnecessary thing in that. Just put him in the black pants. It's fine. He's in a suit for most of it anyway.
I don't even find his big blue dong that like...
No, but do you not remember when it came out and that was the whole thing?
On a cinema screen it was pretty big, yeah.
It was just like, it was just like there to be there.
But again, hewing too close to the comic books.
Yeah, it was unnecessary. It was
like, in the comic books we can see his dick, so I'm going to put his dick on the screen. But actually, it's probably worth pointing out that we just covered the theatrical release version because... Well, mostly because it's us and we don't need an extra half an hour's worth of film to talk about.
But also, that's the copy we have, and I don't think I've actually ever seen the extended one.
No, we have seen the extended one. Yeah, there's a couple of bits of the extra, but it does add on a good half an hour, and I did say... The theatrical release was what we had there, so that was what we watched. Just deal with it.
We did sit the whole way through the Zack Snyder Justice League, and that was a bit of an ordeal, so...
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it, but it was like...
It was a bit of an owl slog.
4 hours is too long for a movie.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Zach, but it is.
Yeah.
And I mean, as I said, I appreciated what he put on, but...
Especially with such a muted colour tone, or colour palette as well. It's very dour to watch.
This as well, in fairness.
It is. It's a tough one to watch.
This is a very self-serious film, and there's like, as far as I can tell, there's only fucking one moment of...
Levity?
Not even comedic relief, levity in it. And Justice League was very much the same.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder's Justice League, obviously.
It is a bit of a slog mentally to watch it because the darkness of it doesn't help.
No. And particularly with Watchmen, whatever about Justice League, that was supposed to be his vision of Justice League.
Yeah.
But Watchmen is a very bright and vivid comic.
Yeah. The only 2 points...
And I know it was 2009, but still.
Yeah, dark and gritty, real raw bat. All that jazz.
Yeah, and I saw a comment from somebody, I can't remember who, so I'm not even going to attempt to remember who. Some famous person said that Zack Snyder's Watchmen was a masterpiece that came 10 years too early.
Yeah.
And I would have appreciated seeing his take on it in 2019, given that all the comic book movies that happened between 2009 and 2019.
Yeah, I think it would have done what they were trying to do with the Justice League universe, which was make it like real and grounded, but they kind of went a little bit too hardcore gritty with it. Nobody needs to do Christian Bale Batman voice all the time.
Worked for Rorschach.
Does work for Rorschach, but Rorschach in this, Jackie Earle Haley actively campaigned for the role.
He's one of the best things about this.
And you can see that he's so passionate playing it. It's so believable. He is probably the best acted character in the whole thing. He's the most believable character in the whole thing.
Jackie O'Haley and Jeffrey Dean Morgan are my favourite pieces about this film. A lot of the rest of the acting is fine, passable. Some of it's not
Doc
great.
Manhattan's voice annoys the fuck out of me.
His voice annoys the fuck out of me, and I feel like I don't like to shit on actors because I'm not an actor and I can't do that stuff. But I feel like Malin Ackerman's performance was not great. A lot of the times I just felt like she was performing lines as opposed to being the character. But yeah. But yeah, no, Jackie Earle Haley and Jeffrey Dean Morgan both fantastic in this. Yeah,
no, with Rorschach in particular, he is the central character. So having him be played by somebody who knew the source material, loved the source material, actively wanted to be that person, it makes a huge, huge difference.
Yes. Plus he's been in two of my favourite live action comic properties.
This.
And Preacher.
Who's he in Preacher?
I forgot the character name.
Stroke the Meat.
Cradle the balls, work the shaft, meat guy. I can't remember his name.
Ogden. He has the big meat lady and the weird Nazi.
He's the meat lady in the comics, and it's the meat kid in the show. I can't remember the character's name.
Gone entirely.
You know who I'm talking about.
It's gone entirely. It's the little town. I completely forgot that was him. Jesus Christ.
Oh, it's a totally different
I just had completely blanked on that. I actually completely blanked out most of season 1 of Preacher for some reason, except for hey, it's the bunny man and Cassidy's intro. Yeah.
Well, if you're going to remember any two scenes.
Yeah, that's which is a shame because
and the angel fight is great.
Yes, it's a shame though because I love Preacher.
But we're getting way off track here. So will we go for a traditional summary?
Yeah.
In an alternate 1980s, a rubber-faced Richard Nixon has banned the popular costumed heroes of previous decades and now relies on one superhuman to maintain the balance in a Cold War that's quickly turning hot. But when an old hero is brutally murdered, the last vigilante Rorschach tries to assemble the old team, fearing someone wants to ignite World War III but needs the heroes gone first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what's going on. There's this thing called the Keene Act it basically has outlawed masked vigilantes. Some of them work for the government now. The comedian works for the government. Doc Manhattan has basically been a government property as long as he'll allow himself to be.
Well, pretty much since he became Dr. Manhattan, he's been working for the government.
And the rest of them are technically retired. So you've got 2 generations of masked vigilantes in the story. Yeah. Because you've got Night Owl 1 and Night Owl 2, which is hilarious, and Silk Spectre 1 and Silk Spectre 2, because they couldn't even be bothered getting their own characters. The comedian who's been around since the 1940s.
Well, the initial group are around since the 1940s.
Yeah, they're called the Minutemen.
For Zack Snyder and his lack of subtlety, I will say I do enjoy how the exposition has got across in this film, even though there's a fuck ton of flashbacks.
Oh no! Can we just for a minute praise his opening sequence, the Minutemen?
Yeah, I was going to get to that because that was part of my point. Was that the way the exposition is done through the flashbacks, and it fits. It's never just people just vomiting out everything that we need to know. It's always like these characters, would be having these conversations, or thinking about these events that happened in the past. And then apart from that, the best thing is his opening sequence. Yeah, the man does fantastic opening sequences. Dawn of the Dead and this in particular, this really, in the length of one Bob Dylan song, he more or less sets up everything he needs to in that world.
That is that and Unforgettable are the 2 songs I think that fit the best, using the times that are changing to show this progression of history and their downfall. Works so well.
But not just the heroes, their effect on society and where this world has differed from our own. Yeah. And then before that credit sequence, you have the fantastic just opening scene of the comedian sitting down. You get your quick TV stuff about we're on the brink of World War III, and he flicks channels and watches this ad, and the Unforgettable music comes in, and then you get this awesome fight scene
where it's not like a gratuitous use of slow motion or anything like that, where it slows down and you get the big impact that they use.
Like the bit where he slams his head through the counter. It's slow leading up to it, but then the actual head through the counter is at speed.
When he goes to throw him out the window, it's sped up, and then as he hits the window, it slows so you can see the starburst, and then it speeds back up again.
Yeah, again, use of
It's
slow-mo
paced really
is...
well with the music too.
Yeah, the use of slow-mo in this film it's not overused for one.
Which is nice.
And when it's used, it is actually used to really good effect, I find.
It's also used at one point to highlight why you should always tie up your hair in a combat sequence.
Well, in a fire rescue.
Yeah, she should have been bald by the end of that.
But yeah, no, I do. Those two scenes, the comedian assassination and then the credit sequence are just fantastic openers. They really are.
No, I do. I love the opening sequence. I just love... It's the downfall of them. Like, you've got the guy who gets his cape stuck in the door.
Dollar bill.
Which is so sad, and to quote Edna Mode, Nutgips! I've forgotten the one, the beautiful...
The silhouette.
The silhouette, oh my gosh, she's so stunning. But her being in the parody of the V-Day photo instead of the sailor, and then being murdered for it because the society's not accepting of that.
Yeah, you see Mothman getting taken away.
Because he's gone nuts.
Yeah, and then Sally's retirement party.
Which is a lovely Last Supper photo.
Oh yeah, because it's not like Zack Snyder to put religious imagery in his films or anything.
But it works so well to bridge 30 odd years of history.
40 odd. I mean, the Minutemen meeting we see is 1940, and it takes us up to the mid 80s.
It's 1985.
Yeah, and we see various nods to events and actual shots of events from American history. We see comedian is probably the one who did an awful lot of assassinating throughout the years.
And there's allusions to a lot of civil rights events that happened as well. You have the shot of
the girl putting the flower
in the gun, and then the MPs opening fire, which is the Ohio, which is also referenced in as Soldier Boy. Two of the ones that's supposed to be Soldier Boy are the comedian, the Grassy Knoll, and the Ohio State.
Or was it Kent State?
Kent State, sorry. Where it was the Ohio National Guard.
Oh, right. But yeah, no, I can't praise that opening credit sequence.
It really sets the tone for the world that you're going to be going into, where it's not all peace and love and tolerance and what we're expecting now. It's still very kind of Red Menace. There's an active Cold War. You know, they've moved the Doomsday Clock to 5 minutes to midnight. Although I think it's
Nixon's still president.
His third term. I'm really pissed because there was no Spyro Agnew. And I love me some Spyro.
Nixon looks fucking awful.
Oh, that big rubbery head on him.
Nixon looks terrible in this. I'm sorry.
There are points in this where the CGI does not hold up, which is a shame.
Not many, I'd say.
No, the worst one is on Mars.
Yeah, ironically.
Yeah, there's a couple of
in
points
an
where
entirely
it does.
CGI environment.
Laurie fits
looks
better than him. Now, I love the fact that when they were filming it, he was in like a total light suit as well, with the points of reference to add his own light source in scene.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
There is a wealth of trivia on IMDb in regards like the technical aspects and loads of the little, because there's loads of like little on-screen things,
motion capture and things like that were going on screen as well, as opposed to being done in 2 or 3 different filming stages.
But there's also, you know, the pictures of Sally Jupiter on the side of the plane and stuff like that. There's loads of little small visual things, and that there's all in the trivia on IMDb. I don't think I'm going to go through any of it unless it comes up as we're chatting, because it's like literally 20 pages of trivia.
That's a lot.
Go and read it yourself.
Interesting though, coming from having just watched The Boys, where the world is completely immersed in superheroes and they're everywhere and it's all advertised. In this, it's like they've died away and they've faded from the collective consciousness, and like Sally Jupiter has the Tijuana Bible and it's a collector's item where these memories of these things are viewed negatively as opposed to praised, like in Vaughtland.
No, it's not definitely not a world that's happy with superheroes, and
it's
you see
not
that
a world
in
that is
scenes
happy at all. It's a
world. True, yeah.
There's a very, very subtle tension the whole way through it, even though people are laughing and jovial, because it's this very dark, oppressive atmosphere, and it's always kind of raining and miserable.
Yeah.
That you can feel that the people are just beat down. Even when they go out and they look all glamorous, it's still a very muted version of that. Yeah,
you can tell that everybody kind of has the hanging over them, and it's nearly any time there's a newspaper or a TV on screen. Yeah, it's all about war and the Russians and what's going on there. And that's something that's
a lot of the
very
news
prevalent in the comics as well.
Yeah.
That's where you get this, but in the comics I feel you get it a little bit more from, you see more of the kind of little people.
Yeah.
But then we don't need this film to be any longer. But shall we chat about some of the characters in it? So we touched on which ones we liked earlier.
I just want to point out that in the comic book they move, and in the film as well actually, they move the clock, the Doomsday Clock, to 5 minutes to midnight.
And it's like, oh no!
We are currently, I've just checked, at 100 seconds to midnight.
Yeah, we had the closest, I think the closest we've been has been 60 seconds. We've been a minute to midnight. Yeah. So we're a minute and 40 seconds.
As of January 2020, it was moved forward to 100 seconds before midnight.
It was moved back a couple of seconds a few years ago.
Yeah.
So we ain't doing much better.
No.
and we don't even have the threat of nuclear annihilation anymore.
No. But I just thought I wanted to point that one out.
Yeah. But no, as the characters, I do, comedian is done really, really well in this, I have to say. I know most of his stuff comes from flashbacks, and some of those flashbacks come hard and fucking fast.
Oh, like when at his funeral with the, I know the disturbed version of Sound of Silence didn't exist at the time.
Yeah.
However, I would love to see that funeral sequence done with the disturbed version over it, because I love the Simon Garfunkel version, but it's just a little bit too happy.
Well, yeah, if you've listened to our previous podcast or our boys podcast, you'll have heard us shit on this film before in regards to the use of music.
Tonally removing you from the situation at hand.
That's the first instance, I think, where it happens in the film, is when the drums kick in on the Sound of Silence, and it's supposed to be the funeral scene. And then it's just too loud. It's just too loud in the mix. And there's obviously the one we always mention is Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, God.
And that one in particular.
There's a lot of dialogue
so much
in that
dialogue.
Scene.
Yeah, any of the scenes where the music doesn't work, they have dialogue over songs with lyrics.
Honestly, I honestly think that if they started the music for that scene 30 seconds later, when you can see the full smiley face in Mars, it would line up a lot better.
Oh yeah, it kicks in way too early there for starters.
Yeah.
But it's just so fucking jarring. And I know, yes, all these songs were in the comic books. I've read the fucking comic books. I love the comic books. But there were better ways to use them, and he didn't have to shoehorn them all in. Because some of the, like, Unforgettable works really well.
Works. Times Are Changing is just perfect.
Yeah, there's a couple of bits that work really well, and I think that's what makes it so jarring when it doesn't work. Because, yeah, when the Sound of Silence comes in, it's like, no. Those drums are too happy.
Honestly, I think I need somebody who's better at this stuff than me to go and please put...
Oh, Disturbed's version over that scene?
Because I think it would work so much better. I acknowledge the fact that this was made in 2009 and that came out in what? Not 2009.
Oh, I don't know. I want to say like, oh, it's probably like 2 years ago. It was probably like 7 years ago that song came out. But I can't remember. At some point after the film was released anyway.
Yeah, I just think it would suit it a lot better, especially when the flashbacks that they go through in that. It's Dan's...
There's 5 flashbacks in the space of like 15 minutes. The first one is Silk Spectre for Sally. Yeah. It's her flashback of the attempted rape scene.
Yes.
And
which is rough.
Yeah. So we're not really going to dwell on that one too long.
It is rough and it is quite graphic. However, I don't feel like it was gratuitous. Maybe the Foley artist got a little bit too slap happy. Because I feel like for how he hits her, the noise is too...
Yeah, it is.
The gut shot in particular.
But I will say it does kind of show you that he seems to be more excited about beating the crap out of her than the prospect of actually raping her. The comedian is a
deeply, deeply fucked up man.
And you can see that from, that's nearly what after she hits him. Yeah. She's like, Eddie, I was just trying to defend myself. She's more worried about the violence that's about to be dealt on her. And rightly fucking so, because he is vicious.
Oh, he's entirely vicious. Being a mass vigilante is probably the worst job choice for him, let alone being fucking government
sanctioned, which is the next flashback is Dr. Manhattan's flashback.
Oh, in
Vietnam.
Fuck me.
Where you see him just
with the flamethrower?
Yeah, lighting the cigarette, the flamethrower and torching people. And
a cigarette would just go voom.
Yeah, true.
And then later on in the bar with the pregnant Viet.
When he just shoots her in the head, and it serves to give you a
little
bit.
But what he says to Manhattan in that though, that hits home.
Well, that's to see, it gives you the flashbacks give you a little bit about each of the characters that are having the flashback as much as the comedian.
Yes.
And in that we see that that's our first kind of hint as well, that Manhattan's
losing his humanity.
Well, not that he's losing, but that it's been an issue for a long time.
Yeah. I do want to point out that is my favourite comedian.
Suit.
Armour? Yeah.
It's definitely better than like the clown suit he's got.
The clown
in the 40s.
suit is kind of terrifying to me because I have quite severe coulrophobia, so anything resembling a clown is not good for me. But I do really enjoy the Vietnam one, and I do like the fact that as they become more and more affiliated with the government, his outfits get more and more tactical and practical.
Yeah.
I would have the one thing I did notice is that the shoulder plates are blue and red, but because the colour palette's
never
so
really comes
muted,
out.
You don't get to see it.
Although
the yellow badge always stands out, his smiley face.
Oh yeah. But in that Nam scene after he shoots the pregnant woman in the head and says that to John, you can see again, this is a man, he loves his violence and he really doesn't give a shit.
No, he doesn't.
The third
that's kind of reinforced then when you get into Night Owls.
His is the fourth one. The third one though is the meeting with Ozymandias, Veet's flashback.
Oh,
and it's the meeting. That's only the short one where he basically says.
Is that where he burns the map? He's got the Sally Jupiter lighter.
Yeah, and tells him he'll be the smartest man on the cinder.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get across it. You see the various flashbacks. You see that he is this violent, nihilistic, right wing nutjob. Because the fourth flashback is him with Dan.
Yeah. Where they're trying to stop a protest. Riot. Well, he basically starts they are rioting. Yeah,
I do like...
Oh, can we... A round of applause for the idiot who throws the Molotov cocktail into the TV shop?
Oh, that's during the credit sequence.
I know it's during the credit sequence, but I think that's that same riot, because that's at the end of the modern day.
Yeah.
And I think that's the one that they're thinking of, because there is a TV shop on fire in that.
Yeah, because it's implied, but never said in the theatrical release that the cops have gone on. Well, it said the cops have gone on strike, but the reason is because of the vigilantes.
Yeah,
they want the vigilantes gone, and so they go on strike. But I love how when the comedian lands and he punches it. I don't love him punching out that woman, but when he lands and he's just throwing fists, the whole crowd starts to leg it before he even pulls out the gun, because it's obviously like, oh fuck, it's the comedian. Get out of here before he pulls out the gun. Because yes, then he pulls out a shotgun and just starts killing people. And then tells Dan, I love working on American soil.
The amount of spirit glue they must all go through, because they all have stupid little domino masks.
It's particularly obvious in the meeting flashback scene.
Oh, between him and Ozymandias, their fucking makeup bills.
Yeah. Spirit gum and eyeliner.
Oh, that's like full on like eyeshadow, because they go down quite far. So they would take them off and have big proper like panda eyes. That's literally what they must be having to do.
Oh yeah. But then our last of the 5 flashbacks that come really fast.
Oh, I also want to point out that Ozymandias' suit, particularly in that flashback sequence, makes his neck look like a giraffe. The shape of it, because it's got quite big shoulders and it comes down to a deep V.
That's the way the cape is supposed to come up.
It comes very far up the back as well, and it just gives him this like really unnaturally long neck. And I noticed it, and that was it. That's all I can see now.
I never really liked how Veet is portrayed. Is portrayed in the movie. Just visually, the suit doesn't look great. Like, his suit in the comics is the brightest of them all.
Yeah, he's got like the collar that's like pink and blue. He's got part of the royal Egyptian kilt. So that's obviously brightly coloured as well. And he's embraced all the lush Egyptian decorative tomb colours. Like, his facility is all brightly decorated with hieroglyphs and things like that.
And everybody else has comics accurate. Like, Dan pretty much looks like Night Owl from the comics. Rorschach is Rorschach.
Except for in the winter sequence where he looks like a kitty.
But that's kind of what he looks like in the comics as well.
He does kind of look like a kitty. Also, Archie looks exactly the same, which I was delighted about.
Yeah, Archie looks great. No, actually, I have no problems with Night Owl in this film. He's fine.
Yeah.
He's
the boring
Patrick
moral
Wilson.
compass. He is a boring character. He's a boring character in the comic book as well. He's kind of the moral compass of it.
Yeah,
he balances
audience
Rorschach.
insert. Yeah.
I do like the fact that the scene of him standing butt naked in front of the costume is exactly how it looks in the comic book. That it's panel for panel perfect.
Zack Snyder did not have to storyboard this film.
No, he had it.
He just cut the pages out of the comic and put them up on the
wall. But I like the fact that he's supposed to be like retired and overweight, but he's just like a little bit chunky in the love handles. Like apart from that, he still kicks ass in the alleyway.
Yeah.
You know, and it's supposed to be this sad, fat, old retired man, but he's clearly not still.
Yeah, well, I mean, Rorschach is the only one who calls him fat.
Yeah.
I didn't
hear a fatty grunt in this film.
He's out of shape compared to the rest of them, perhaps. Yeah. But I suppose if it's only, 6 or 7 years since the Keane Act has been passed.
Yeah.
And he was doing it for at least 10 years beforehand, if I recall.
Yeah, I think Hollis Mason had retired, and then Hollis Mason revealed his identity and wrote a book.
Yeah, so he was doing it
Under the Hood.
Conservatively would say if he started in his early 20s, he could have been doing it for 15 years before he retired. And it's only 6 or 7 years since he retired, so he's only just out of practice a little bit.
Yeah,
it's no Bruce Wayne breaking his back anyway. That's for sure.
No,
but yeah, Night Owl is fine. He is the kind of moral compass / audience insert, as you said. He's the one who's struggling with not being a superhero anymore and the weight of all the problems around him.
Yeah, and you discover that he's basically been able to afford to do all this mad stuff because his dad was an investment banker and left him a load of money. So it's not like he has to go and earn a living or anything like that.
Yeah, no.
So he's just bored. He's very much the realistic lower upper class Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. He's
not a gazillionaire, but he's, comfortable.
Yeah, so he had obviously devoted his life to the crime fighting and nothing else.
Yeah.
And now he's like, what do I do?
It's not exactly like he's down there in that basement building model trains.
He could have a model train set. He seems like the type who'd have a model train set, in fairness.
Yeah. The glasses do nothing for him. I know they're 80s. They're very 80s style. My dad used to have a pair like that, but they're fucking awful.
Veet's fine. Character-wise, he's basically the same characters from the comic. Visually, as I said, I don't really like how he's... You hate that suit.
I hate the suit he's being interviewed in the tower when Dan goes to see him, because I know it's the 80s and power shoulders were all the thing, but the shoulders are doing a lot of the heavy lifting in that suit. Because it's not fitted properly, there's no padding underneath it, you can see where the suit crinkles.
I think he looks like a kid in a suit too big for him.
Yeah, he's got that going on, and it just, because it overwhelms his frame, it makes him look really, really scrawny. So then when you see him
in his super suit,
you're like, damn, he just sculpted muscles.
Yeah, it's...
And he's supposed to be this incredibly athletic gymnast, so I'd expect a frame that's a little bit more gymnastics approached, which for male gymnasts tends to be quite big shoulders. It's a lot more upper body. He just looked very, very weedy.
A little more Gold's Gym.
Not
1950s.
Not so much Gold's Gym, but just more kind of swimmer. Yeah, kind of physique. He looks like a sharp breeze would take him away in that red suit. So then when you have the assassin incursion and he picks up that bollard and hits him.
Yeah.
And if you've ever had to pick up one of those bollards, they weigh a fucking ton. They're a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And to swing it like a baseball bat, you're kind of going, right, it doesn't track.
Well, I think...
With how your body has been portrayed.
I think that is because you haven't seen him in the suit yet when he does that.
No, you have. You see him in the flashback. He's wearing the suit in the flashback. Yeah, so he goes from being, you see him and he's quite big and broad-shouldered and muscular to and I know they're retired, so he could have lost muscle mass. But then he does this and you're like, that doesn't track.
Yeah.
A good tailoring can hide stuff, but not that much.
Yeah.
It just bothers me, and it bothers me in a really weirdly specific way.
But it's mostly visually his portrayal. I have no problem with how Matthew Good acted in the role. Again, he was fine. But Rorschach, Jackie Earle Haley,
blows it away.
Absolutely
completely
nails it.
Knocks it out of the park.
So comics accurate, but also there's a couple of bits in it that aren't in the comics, and he nails just all of it. When he's screaming, "Give me back my face!"
No, I do love "What did you see? What do you see?"
That's one of the wits that's not from the comics. Is when he pulls the mask back down and says to the doctor, "What do you see?" I
think I said to you, I was like, it's very similar to Crane in The Dark Knight or in Batman Begins. When he pulls it down, very, very similar kind of shot.
Yeah, I think I prefer the Rorschach one though.
Yeah. Well, because he's not being injected with like fucking fear gas. That psychologist is just like fucking.
It's just terrified. Yeah.
Get me the fuck. Well, also the prison is burning to the ground.
I was going to say all the prison stuff is great with Rorschach, but to be honest with you, all the Rorschach stuff is fun.
Yeah.
Because you get a real nice detective story in there with Rorschach's story.
I like the way
trying to figure it all out.
He's styled very much as the 1920s noir detective with the trench coat and the hat and his little journal, and he is living in this movie construct of his own creation.
Oh yeah,
the way he behaves, and that the mask, his own face is the mask, and he hides as this like homeless guy. Yeah. Crazy guy who goes around with an eye sign because he can see things because people don't pay attention.
To the crazy guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, no, and when he fights as well, it's a real...
Oh, it's scrappy.
It's scrappy, and it's not flashy like any of
he also
the rest of them can be.
Utilises his environment a lot more, and he uses tools and things like that. Like when he gets done by the SWAT team and he's got the classic aerosol can and lighter. Yeah. Because we all know you can fuck up some people and werewolves with that.
All of his best scenes are when he's using random stuff around him when he's about to get shivved. He
uses the fryer.
But even before that, the way he blocks the knife with the tray and then smashes the side of the tray into your man's
and then smashes and then gets the fryer.
He's always aware of his surroundings and how to use them, and then to the point when Big Figure comes to him later on.
When he's doing 1-0 your move, 2-0
and using the toilet and everything, it's just. Yeah, he's just done so well. And that one bit of levity that I talked about earlier comes from Rorschach when they spring him from the prison.
Oh, when he goes, I need to use the lavatory.
Yeah, must use the little boy's room.
And the door swings as he's, cornering Big Figure. No, Jackie Earle Haley knocks out of the park. He is the best thing about this. Yeah. And it is worth watching it just for him.
It's kind of rare that you get, because he does a lot of narration in this, and it's rare that you get a narrator that you aren't supposed to like. Yeah. Like when he's going on.
He's not a nice person.
No,
also,
when he's going on about
cold pork and beans out of the can, so.
Yeah, that's gross. But when he's going on about like what happened, like why are there so few heroes left, and he's like, he calls Laurie's mom a bloated whore, or an aging bloated whore. He refers to Silhouette as a victim of her own immoral or hedonistic lifestyle or something like that. And just the way he talks about society.
Oh yeah, no, he makes no attempt to mask his disgust for society, but he's also...
But just the way in which he talks about...
But he's also like weirdly motivated to protect the lesser in society. I know a lot of it, you get that through his upbringing. His mother was a prostitute.
It's kids. I think the only people that Rorschach wants to actually protect are kids. Children. Because that's
nobody's
of the child that he had,
And you get that, especially when the case of the 6-year-old girl that he goes to find. Yeah. Kids are the ones that seem to motivate the true innocence.
Exactly, because nobody else is innocent to him. Everybody has a fault.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. Even Dan is a fat, flabby waste.
Yeah, sitting rotting away in his tower, which is actually a brownstone in upper New York City.
May as well be a tower though.
Yeah,
for how much it's probably worth.
He's got a secret tunnel.
Yeah, he's got a massive basement that seems to be an underground tube station.
Yeah, it's got a secret tunnel. He can get, Archie out and it comes up in the river.
Yeah, that's where Rorschach gets his little dig in. And it's like, yeah, I know. We used to use the tunnel all the time when we were partners. Yeah. And Dan's like, oh, those were great times. What happened? You quit.
Yeah. And he also, kicked his door in too.
Well, there's the line later on. I'm sorry, I had to get a new lock.
Yeah.
But that very much seems to be how Rorschach operates, is break into people's houses and wait for them to come home.
Yeah. He does it to Moloch.
Yeah, does it to that child murderer.
Yeah, well.
Breaks into Rockefeller Military Research Center with very little effort.
Yeah, I love the fact that he sneaks the whole way in and then just smashes the glass in the door.
Yeah.
He's actively avoiding MPs and stuff like that, and then it's just like, nope, fist through the window.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I do love the mask though, actually.
Yeah, the mask is
fantastic. Mask looks great.
And the whole thing, the mask is a reference to...
the murder of Kitty Genovese.
Yeah, where everybody kind of stood around and watched. Yeah. Nobody was willing to...
Nobody called the police. It's studied in psychology classes and stuff today.
I think it's also that's the main push for a unified emergency response number.
You could be right
because
about
at
that.
the time you had to call your local district, whereas they developed a national. Basically, 911 was developed from that. I think as part of the response to it.
But yeah, in the comics, Rorschach was supposed to be making a dress for her out of this material, and then he hears about what happened to her in the paper and that nothing happened, and that's kind of when he decides to become Rorschach.
Yeah.
I don't think you get any of that in any versions of the film, to be honest with you. But the mask is just, it's a nice little touch. I know people who complained that it wasn't like, it's supposed to be like, not cloth, it's supposed to be like liquid held between two layers.
No,
of
I
fabric,
like it being the cloth.
I really like. I don't know how it's supposed to work, but I like it.
Also, on a side note, if you've never looked up Edwin Rorschach, go look up a photo of Edwin Rorschach, because dude was a fox.
Dude's fucking hot.
Seriously.
Dude is fucking hot.
Like, god damn. Like, when you think of psychologist, he is not what comes to mind.
What, 19th century late 19th century psychologist?
Yes. Yes, let me tell you all my issues.
I'd give it to him. But
just because Rorschach, when the mask is taken off, he's not supposed to be an incredibly, like, he's grizzled and he's got like bad teeth, and you're told kind of repeatedly that he has foul body odor, like he's called like he's just not a nice person to be around physically. Like, everything about him is kind of repulsive, to quote Family Guy, when a smell gets in the back of your throat.
You're offensive to all the senses.
Yeah, I'm tasting you right now.
But despite all of that and how much of an asshole he is, and he's like this properly ultra-conservative,
he's a
self-righteous asshole, I still, when he says to Dan, he tells Dan that he's too trusting or something with it, and like even with women, and Dan's like, no, that's too far, and has a go at him, and he's like, sorry Dan, I know I must be difficult to be with. I'm like, oh, I feel bad for you, Rorschach. You are an asshole, but I feel bad for you. But our only other characters that we haven't talked, the only main characters we haven't talked about are probably our two least favourite. In Silk Spectre 2, Laurie, and the big blue dick himself. And I don't mean his penis.
No.
Dr. Manhattan. He is a fucking asshole in this film. He's an asshole in the comics as well.
Yeah,
he's a particular asshole in this film. It's the tone of voice.
Yeah, the assholiness, whatever, like, he's a transcendental type being. Like, he had suffered this horrific accident. He managed beyond the odds to actually kind of reconstruct himself. I do love that sequence, though, when you get this skeleton appearing, the nervous system outside the fence, the musculature appearing and shrieking. That sequence I do enjoy. But he talks to everybody like you would talk to a difficult child. Not even like a difficult child. It's very condescending. Oh, it is. He is patronising. He is
Dr. Mansplain.
Yeah. Dr. Gaslight.
He's Dr. Gaslighting.
Yeah. It really bothers me. The things that when he...
I think it's supposed to.
But then later on, when he has his big revelation with Laurie on Mars, you don't believe it.
I didn't buy it.
There should be some emotion or something there, and there's no there's no change in tone or pitch. There's nothing conveyed through it. It's like he's supposed to have had this like
massive revelation, and
it hasn't affected him in any way. Even if there had just been like a subtle cracking of a voice or something to signify the impact of this. But it's like he's just decided to change his mind between like fucking blue and red.
Yeah, it really is. And it's like, this crying girl in front of me prefers red over blue, so I may as well just say that red is my favourite colour. I don't buy him.
The justification, it just falls flat. Everything about his realisation falls flat.
It doesn't go far enough.
It's done better. The dialogue is done better in the comic books.
Yeah, because in this, he likens Laurie's birth to, the phenomenon of air turning into gold. It's astronomically unlikely to actually happen, but could potentially happen. And he's like, well, your birth is effectively like that, and therefore is a miracle, and therefore I have now changed my mind. It's like, well, no, that's how every fucking birth happens, dude. Yeah. But in the comics, that's the point, is he realises
it's life in general as opposed to just this individual.
If Laurie as an individual is so unlikely to exist the way she is because of all the conditions that brought her to this, then every life is equally unlikely and therefore worth preserving. All life. Not just Laurie. And I don't buy it in at least the theatrical release anyway. I don't know if there's anything more in the ultimate version. But yeah, I don't buy his turn. I really don't.
No, it's very much... I do find with a lot of Zack Snyder films, he kind of tries to get everything in, and the endings of them always feel rushed. And this has a touch of that to it. Like, he was like, oh shit, I need to start wrapping this up.
Yeah.
So this feels very rushed, and it's just a convenience point to get them back to Earth.
Yeah, it does. It very much feels like, oh, I need them back on Earth. So he's going to say that he's on Laurie's side now. I mean, the rest of the character, I think we don't get to spend enough time... Well, we get to spend barely any time with John Osterman before...
No,
I mean, I know even in the comics, he's Doc Manhattan first before you get any of his backstory, but you get a lot of the character of who John Osterman was in the comics, whereas you get barely anything here.
Yeah, you get a lot of his history within the program, his relationship with Janie, the sort of life he had come from. Whereas in this, you only kind of get the whole, she bought me a beer, I'm a physicist, we went to the fun fair, it's the only photo
and then the accident
of
happens.
Me. And that, the saddest part of that is when he's in the chamber.
Mm.
And that, again, that shot of him disintegrating.
Oh, beautiful.
Is perfect.
But yeah, I feel like if we had gotten a little bit more of that, it might have added more weight to the story of him losing detachment from humanity and then finding some value in life again. Because
also he's Dr. Groomer.
Oh yeah, he is definitely Dr. Groomchildren.
Yeah.
As we see when he's having his flashback when he's on Mars.
About meeting Laurie and leaving Janie, and Laurie's 16.
She's 16, but he just refers to her as a very young
child,
a very young girl is planting kisses on my lips. And yeah, it's like, yeah, you woof, no. Yeah. He done grooming. But it was the 60s, and that was okay, apparently.
Yeah, no. It's weird.
But, I mean, is Dr. Manhattan at that point a guy in his 40s, or is he also a teenager?
I don't know what he is.
Was he reborn when he became Dr. Manhattan? Because then he was born in 1959.
I don't know. All I know is apparently licking his thumb is like licking a battery, and I tried that once and that's unpleasant.
Oh, in the scene where he's Dr. Manhandling.
Yeah.
And he's got a bunch of them there.
Yeah.
Oh, he is. He's an asshole.
Yeah, because
he's an absolute asshole.
She expressly states in that situation, I don't like it when you do that. And then he's like, oh, I'm sorry. And then she realises that he's
I
working.
don't know how to stimulate you anymore.
Oh, yeah,
maybe not using that kind of language for starters.
Oh, dude, yeah, be engaged, be present. Don't be like in 5 different modes and be working on something. And then he's like, oh, my work is not important. I'm solely focused on you now.
Yeah, he goes, I'm solely
not
focused on
5 minutes ago.
But he walks away from the TV screen to say that to her. But one of the other ones walks straight back up to the TV screen to do whatever that one was doing.
I know.
He is. He's and I know he's supposed to be an asshole in it, but
yeah,
it's really I like him more in the comics. In this, I'm just like, wow, you are a big blue dick. You are a big blue dick, as well as having one. But then Silk Spectre herself isn't much more likable. But then she's just kind of a vehicle for plot in this. She doesn't have an awful lot of her own characterization beyond.
She has issues with her mom.
Yeah, mom wanted me to be a superhero. I never really wanted to be, and
she's just kind
omniscient
of
boyfriend is an asshole.
And then she's kind of stuck as well that the US government's quite happy for her to hang around this facility because she keeps the big blue guy happy.
Oh yeah, that's the only reason she's there.
Yeah, that's her only purpose. She doesn't really have her own life or her own identity outside of what other people have wanted her to be.
Yeah. But kind of beyond that, I don't really feel like we get a lot for her, and she does.
Yeah, it's very much like, I'm here to look pretty in this tight yellow latex outfit.
Yeah,
even the fight she has with her mom and her big revelation you don't see how it impacts her. Her big revelation reveal that the comedian is
her father, yeah.
That has an impact on John, but you never see the repercussions on her.
Yeah.
Everything that happens to her doesn't actively happen to her, they happen around her.
Yeah, and the only time she really has anything negative to say about the comedian is when she's with her mom earlier on.
Yeah.
Instead of going to the funeral, and she's like, "Oh, I can't remember exactly what she says, but she basically is like, you shouldn't be talking nicely about the guy who tried to rape you." And then the only other time we see her have anything to say or do about the comedian is in the flashback when she's quite young, and is all like, "Ooh, it's the comedian, he's talking to me," and then her mom storms up. So we don't believe that she hates. Well, I don't believe that she hates the comedian. I don't think she should be quite so upset at that revelation. Nothing
about it makes sense. It does in the comic book, but the comic book's a lot bigger.
Yeah.
You get a lot more of the backstory and the interactions between herself and the comedian during the Minutemen, the second reincarnation of the Minutemen, and her hatred is kind of justified in that. And, you know, she's grown up with the stories of how he treated her mother. And, like, yeah, okay, in this, she's aware of the fact that he tried to rape her mom. She overheard that fight as a small child.
Well, it's Hollis Mason's book that comes out in the comics. Anyway, that's what she finds out when she's like 19 or 20 because Hollis Mason releases the book. She's never been told that the comedian tried to rape Sally. Yeah, and that she'd been working kind of alongside him as well. So her hatred in that is almost justified. But in this, there's nothing to it. She just seems to be, she's not present. Yeah, she's just reacting to things and moving on. There's nothing deeper going on. Yeah, I think, and
even with her conversation, with John, I was going to say when she comes back from Archie, and he's like, "Oh, we're on Mars, and we're going to be talking there in a minute." And it's like, why are you just immediately running back to him? Yeah,
and she's like, "Oh, you know, I have to go." Why?
Yeah, why? Why the fuck do you have to go? And I know he just teleports you without your fucking consent anyway. But apparently he seems to do a lot of things without your consent.
There's a lot of stuff to do with like how John talks about his future and future events. That's explained a lot better in the comics. That in this is kind of rushed. It's like, well, if you know all of this stuff, Laurie doesn't actually need to be there.
Yeah.
Whereas in the comics, it's not so much that he doesn't see the future and see the past. He is experiencing time all at once.
Yeah.
Is probably a better description of it. And it's a bit fudgy in this. But yeah, they're two of the most important characters. And I like them the least. Dr. Manhattan and Silk Spectre too.
Yeah.
Like,
and I really...
Rorschach and the comedian, brilliant.
There's, in particular, when they have the fight and he's like, oh, okay, well, go call Dan.
Oh, that's so annoying.
And he's like, it's okay, I understand you want the
comfort
of an old friend. And he goes to brush her hair and she goes to lean into it and his attention's already gone. And it's like, oh no, girl, just pack a bag and leave. Just go. He won't even notice you're gone for a while. Like, you deserve somebody who at least pays attention to you. You're clearly upset. You're clearly in distress. And he's okay. He's like, oh, it's fine. You can go and spend time with an old friend.
Yeah, all he wants to do is just placate her. He doesn't actually care about her. But yeah, it's just the two of those characters I feel are kind of the weakest in it. But we've kind of talked about a lot of the film through the characters.
But it's a very character driven film.
Definitely.
The plot isn't as important as the relationships between the characters.
Well, I mean, the plot. I summarised the film in 2 sentences, and I could have gone even slower. You could summarise the film in old hero gets killed, and his comrades try to figure out why and stop conspiracy.
It is about how people people's interactions with each other, and because it's based in a kind of Cold War setting where everybody was extremely paranoid and everybody was suspicious of everybody else as well.
Yeah.
And for people who've lived their lives on the outskirts of acceptable society. Now, Laurie obviously is known as his girlfriend. You know, there's a few of them that are out there and their faces are very, very public.
Yeah.
But they live in this kind of counterculture which doesn't help in a society that in general is extremely paranoid.
And violent.
And extremely violent.
Definitely violent. Because that's one of the things we haven't really talked about in is the fight scenes.
Yeah.
And the gore in general. I really like the gore and I have some issues with the fight scenes.
Well, you've got when they're out to dinner and they get set upon in the alleyway.
Like that.
Well, that's after the dinner, but when they're set upon in the alleyway and you get the idea that these are just these gangs that roam around. But there's also not much of an indication that the city is inherently dangerous.
No, you see a lot of prostitutes and you see those gangs. And
speaking of prostitutes, somebody should have told that poor girl not to go near him.
Near Rorschach?
Yeah.
Yeah, she probably shouldn't be going up and flashing.
Or shouting at him.
Yeah, and then shouting at him when he ignores her.
Especially when we found out that there was one super villain who basically was just a masochist.
Captain Carnage. I love the Captain Carnage story.
Who just wants to get beat on.
Yeah.
And he tries it out on Rorschach and
drops him down an elevator shaft.
Poor bastard.
Yeah. But no, I really like the violence in as much as I agree with what Zack Snyder tried to do is he wanted to make the gore really over the top, and there are bits where like like when the dogs are fighting over the little girl's bone. It probably would have been enough to just have shown them fighting over a leg bone. But you actually see the foot in the shoe. And when Dr. Manhattan's blowing up the gangsters, you can see like
the arm hanging from the ceiling.
Just wiggling, hanging from the ceiling. And it's really over the top gore. And Zack Snyder wanted that to be there so the audience kind of questions their own enjoyment of it. To have that kind of parallel there between you and some of the not nice characters who really enjoy the violence. And I like that choice. It's a stylistic choice that works. What I don't like is Rorschach is fine, but I feel like he's overpowered some of his heroes, particularly Veidt. And in that alleyway scene with Dan and Laurie, there's a couple of hits where like they just punch a guy and the guy goes like 20 feet across the alleyway.
Like with Rorschach, he uses his environment and he uses the tools that are available to him. And when he goes down, like when he gets arrested outside of Moloch's house and he's going down fighting and there's a load of them, but he's scrappy fighting and it's believable. Yeah. It's very scuffly. Whereas when you look at, say, when they're trying to break him out of prison, and there's that one's not too bad.
But there's a bit, I think they say in the alleyway, for example.
Also, watch Silk Spectre's heels disappear in that.
It's a bit in the alleyway where like Silk Spectre like breaks a guy's shin, and then as he kind of falls over, she kicks him and sends him like 6 foot flying into a dumpster. And it's like, no, like make them strong, fine, and particularly the fight at the end with Veidt. Yeah, he's like flinging the other two guys literally like massive amounts across the room, and at the start with the comedian. And I get these are supposed to be guys who are at the top of their game, but just they're not that good.
Yeah, make it realistic.
Just make it like just half the distance. So it's still more than a normal human could ever throw, but not ridiculously. Because they're not super powered. They're not supposed to be super powered. No, they're just supposed to be highly trained individuals, and highly trained individuals can't throw people 30 feet across the room.
Yeah, it is for a movie that's so grounded in everything else being realistic, with the exception of, it being Nixon's third term.
Yeah, there's changes.
And there's a big blue guy wandering around. It is very much a realistic alternate reality. The technology is similar to what was available in the 80s.
But a little bit advanced because Dr. Manhattan has kind of helped things along.
But do you know what the one bit that really fucking irked me actually was the whole moon landing, and he turns around and Doc Manhattan's just standing there and I was like, you couldn't even give us that. Like, we probably did this under our own steam. Well,
it looks like everything else was the same.
Yeah, except for him saying "Good luck, Mr. Gorski," because that's a fable.
That's an urban legend. Yes, yeah. But it's still Neil Armstrong, and he's still on the lunar landing module. So did Doc Manhattan just go up there and wait?
Yeah,
and if so, why didn't he just transport the astronauts in the suits straight up there? Why did they bother wasting all the money on the Apollo rockets and the Apollo missions when Doc Manhattan could have just jumped them up there? Although his transportation effect is really cool looking. I really like that.
Yeah, it does tend to seem to make you hurl though.
Just Laurie, at least. I would imagine it's probably not a comfortable sensation though.
No, especially because he seems to do it to people without them being prepared for it. He's just like, you go over there now.
Yeah.
And also when he transports Laurie to Mars and he forgets that she can't breathe.
These things sometimes slip my mind.
Yeah, no shit!
Oh. So, not final thoughts, but things you liked, things you didn't like overall?
I always enjoyed the story. I do very much prefer the comic book because I think the comic book, this is a very much condensed version of it. And there are things that suffer for that.
Definitely. It's too condensed.
It would have almost been better as a two-parter or as what would probably happen now if it was ever made
a miniseries.
Well, there is a miniseries of it. I've never actually seen it because we can't get it here.
Yeah, and the miniseries is
it's set in the future.
It's a follow-on from the comics rather than anything else.
Presumably, if we hadn't had the movie, the miniseries that came out would have been this initial story, which would have actually served it better. It is broken down, like the chapters in it are quite substantial.
This is the thing that we seem to keep coming to a conclusion of with Zack Snyder's body of work is
miniseries.
Would be better as a miniseries. Like Sucker Punch, I still think Sucker Punch would be way better if it was like a 4 or 5 episode
for
miniseries.
What he wants to do and the depth he wants to go to. You can't condense it down to once he hit 3 hours on a movie. That's it. You've lost me. But you give me
4 or 5 hours of a miniseries.
4 1-hour miniseries. I'm going to watch the shit out of that because I can do it in chunks that make sense. I'm not trying to pick a part of a movie to go, fuck it, I'll pick it up here again later.
And I mean, that's basically...
And I think that would suit his style a lot more.
That's basically what Zack Snyder's Justice League was.
Was 4 chapters, yeah.
Yeah. No, it didn't quite feel like it didn't feel like the full miniseries. It was a 4-hour movie.
Yeah.
But
at least it had chapter breaks.
Yeah, at least there were chapter breaks. But that is... I've always said that about this film. My biggest criticism is that he hewed too close to the comic books for it to make a really good film on its own merits.
Well, you were saying you'd love to see him and James Gunn work together now.
Again, because that's one of the reasons
I think they would temper each other in really, really good ways. Like Zack Snyder needs somebody to go, it's too many ideas, Lo, stop.
Yeah, and you're taking yourself a bit too seriously. And James Gunn could probably do with somebody tempering his more out there madness.
Yeah, no, because I will say the Suicide Squad that James Gunn did is fucking brilliant. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see the pair of them work together and see what they can come out with, because the pair of them are giant comic book fans.
Yeah, and they worked together really well for the 2004 Dawn of the Dead, I thought.
And that is a great film as well.
We really enjoyed it.
Particularly the Burt Reynolds.
Oh, they're shooting the celebrities bit. It's great, yeah. But
Zombie Baby, not so fun, and somebody needs Zack Snyder to stop with the zombie babies.
Yeah.
At least there was nothing like that in this.
No. But back to the point of it being too close to the comic books. Do you remember when we went to see this when I worked in the cinema? We went to the staff showing.
Yeah.
And we really enjoyed it after. We were like, a couple of issues, but it was grand. But a whole lot of people who had never read the comic books walked out of it going, what the fuck was that film about?
Yeah.
There's 9 flashbacks in this film. Like full-on flashbacks and a couple of little small flashbacks. One flashback even is like flashback A, flashback B, flashback C when it's Rorschach doing the inkblot tests.
Oh, yeah. Also, that's a really good idea, psychologist. Show the guy who wears an inkblot on his fucking face.
Yeah.
What are you expecting?
But it is a very choppy film. Now, when we rewatched it, I didn't find it as jarring as the first time I watched it. But I would say, yeah, for people who haven't read the comics,
you have no idea what's going on.
It's a messy film because there's so much to do with, and I get the comedian is important to the story, but there's so much to do with the backstory of the Minutemen rather than the Watchmen, that if you had kind of cut a little bit of it out, because I always find that everything feels very rushed from the point where Dan and Laurie rescue the people from the fire.
Yeah.
Everything up to that is all slow burn, character development, flashbacks, and then all of a sudden they rescue people from one fire and it's really quickly, let's go and spring Rorschach. Just like that. No debate about it. And then they spring
it's all
Rorschach.
very much boom, 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 boom.
They spring Rorschach.
Mars.
And Doc Manhattan appears and takes her. Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Takes her to Mars, and the two lads go to one place, get some info, go to Veet's place, find out what they find out, and fuck off straight to Antarctica. And it's all very rushed, I find. Yeah. That would be one of my biggest criticisms of it, is that he's too much of a fan to be able to go, no, this scene should be cut out.
He needs somebody who's a bit more removed to be like, well, it doesn't work narratively, it just makes it messy. One thing I would have liked to have seen was more Bubastis.
Yes.
Don't give me her just to kill her.
Yeah, don't give me her in 3 scenes just to kill her off.
Like, I have a big ass Maine Coon who's called Bubastis because of this.
Yeah, we love Bubastis.
Yeah. I would love to have seen more of her. I think she could have been in the Office sequences and stuff like that. She's awesome.
Yeah,
and that's a kind of like a Jamie the hamster moment where Jamie was a nice surprise. I was looking for her the whole way through it because she is very much Veet's companion.
Yeah. And an important, not massively important, but and this kind of leads us on to talking about the ending. But in the comics, Bubastis is important because she's a genetically modified Lynx, but it shows that he's been fucking around with genetic modification. So when the big end comes up, and we're going to talk about the end of the comics and the end of the film here. But in the comics, when you have this big giant squid monster, you're like, oh yeah, cool, he's been fucking around with genetic engineering because we've seen Bubastis. Yeah. There's no real reason for Bubastis to be here other than fan service. And I didn't want fan service of, hey, look, Bubastis. Oh, she's dead. Yeah, thanks. Thanks you, Zack Snyder.
Yeah, no, like if you're going to do that, just put her in from the very start and just have her there.
But that said, with the ending, I like what Zack Snyder changed. Yes. Because
not having the island, not having that whole side story going on,
you just
did make it a lot neater.
Yeah.
Because that is a fucking, even having read, I don't know how many times I've read the comic book, you still read it going, what the fuck? fuck is going on? Psychic squid?
Psychic squid island full of like writers and scientists and artists and like TV fucking people and
This
musicians.
is like
and
giant alien spider in it. Like it really goes fucking Stephen King did a lot of cocaine in the 80s.
yeah, because he really simplified it down because you can still have the comedian stumble upon the plan. And it's not the absurdity of the plan, it's the scope of the plan that freaks out the comedian.
Mm.
And you can still have him waffle on about a list because it's a list of the people who are given cancer to frame John. It's not the list of the artists and stuff.
No, the for a movie narrative, the ending that they've gone with and the method they've gone with works way better. For a graphic novel, and for in particular being an Alan Moore graphic novel, the way that it goes in that makes total sense from Alan Moore's perspective.
And I think narratively it does work slightly better in the comics because the threat of an alien invasion is more likely to make the world work together than, say, the threat of Doc Manhattan
nuking everybody.
The nations of the world cooperating aren't going to necessarily stop Manhattan from nuking them again.
No.
Whereas the nation of the world cooperating could potentially repel an alien invasion, because that's one of the aspects in the comics is the squid thing sends out a psychic blast that everybody who survives knows that these aliens intend to invade.
Yeah.
Whereas this, it's just an attack from Doc Manhattan. And while I do appreciate it's way simpler, just as that tiny little narrative, me being a pedantic little prick would go, well, I mean, the Earth cooperating wouldn't stop Manhattan from wiping them out anyway.
No, but they do have it. The bomb is called a squid, though. It
is called it's shortened to a squid, and
well, it's supposed to be an energy source. Tachyons. Fucking tachyons.
Yep.
I know, but they do have the nod to it with it being the acronym of SQUID.
Yeah, and there's another nod that I can't remember what it is, but it's gone already. But
it's all the tendrils of electricity that come out of it when Doc Manhattan are working look like tentacles.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, even though I did just say I kind of prefer narratively the ending from the comics, he was much better off going with the ending that he went with. It works for the film.
It's cleaner.
And considering my biggest problem was that he hewed too close to the comics, trying to explain all that would have added on another half an hour to an already long film.
But with a shout out to Gary Chalk being in this, I will watch him in fucking anything, and he's only a NORAD general. But it made me very happy to see him.
There are a ton of Stargate actors in this. The newspaper vendor
is
Harlan from like season 1 of Stargate. Yeah, there's the detective at the start who's investigating Blake's murder is from Stargate as well.
He's in loads
he's in loads of stuff.
But he's great in Stargate because he's a super paranoid CIA agent.
Yeah, Whitlow. But when we went back and watched it again, I was expecting...
I know it's been a long time since we'd watched it as well. It's been a good 10 years, I would say, since we've watched
possibly, it. Yeah. It's definitely been a long, long time since I watched it. And I appreciated it more this time around. The issues I'd had with it in the past weren't as bad. Like the music, there are some bits of music that work really well. I think it was just the sound of silence and All Along the Watchtower stick out in my head so much that I had just thought, all the music in the film is that jarring.
I don't think that it's that we've developed a new appreciation for it. I think it's just that movies have come out since that have absolutely destroyed.
Worse, yeah.
There's been a lot worse. So looking back at it now, going, it's not as bad as I remember it because I've seen some awful garbage since then.
It's not even by comparison. I think the first time I saw it, I was disappointed because it was like, in my head, I was like, I don't understand how a film being too true to the comic can be a bad thing.
But now I understand.
But I can't,
yeah.
But it is still, it's a very self-serious film. It's a very dark, like visually dark film.
Yeah.
Very visually pretty, but yeah, it is very dark.
It's very dark. It's very muted. Like the only bright spots throughout it are Silk Spectre's bright yellow costume and Doc Manhattan. They're the only two really vivid bright colours in it. Even when they're on Mars is very muted, soft reds.
Yeah.
Even when they're out interacting, there's the shot of them in Veet's flashback.
Yeah.
And it's the whole group of them, and the two that stand out are Manhattan glowing in the background and Spectre
In the yellow and
in
black.
the yellow,
yeah.
and the rest of them are just this sea of browns and greys.
Yeah, and capes.
And capes. So many capes. And the one thing that really annoys me, because there's the bit where Night Owl drops out of Archie, the cape looks so cheap. It looks like a shower curtain type material.
Oh, I also appreciate the fact that Archie basically poops out superheroes.
Yeah, I know, it's so cute. And the fact that it's an owl called Archimedes, and they mentioned the fact that was Merlin's owl. Yes.
I like when
The Sword in the Stone taught me that, so.
But when Night Owl drops out of Archie and he has his big superhero landing and the big wide cape, he doesn't actually do anything except for give out to the comedian. He doesn't attack.
He stabs somebody, turns around, he's like, what the hell, we're supposed to be saving these people. And the comedian's like, why?
But I just love the big superhero landing to then have a philosophical debate with somebody.
I will say, though, the cowl looks cumbersome and he doesn't have great mobility in his neck. Now it's no Michael Keaton Batman cowl.
Well, he can just flick that cowl straight down like a hoodie, and it looks like he's got a pretty good range of movement.
Yeah, but it's nowhere near like Michael Keaton Batman cowl.
Oh, no, yeah, he can't move the neck at all.
Oh, when he tries to look up and he has to bend over backwards. But it still looks very kind of uncomfortable and cumbersome, especially now that we've seen new outfits come out that have gotten rid of that.
Yeah.
Was Batman Begins out when this came out?
Oh, yeah. Batman Begins 2005. Dark Knight was out before this as well.
Oh, yeah. Because you have the whole thing.
Trailer for this.
It was on the Dark Knight.
Was
Dark
Knight. And as
that.
a result, the comic book sold out in a load of places.
Yeah. I remember that, the comic book coming back in. But you've got there's a whole fucking discourse in Batman Begins about the cowls and being able to move their neck.
Yeah. But anything else you particularly enjoyed or didn't enjoy about the film?
My main critique with it is the length. It's a very long film with no points of levity, and there's no real let up in the amount of story and exposition that's getting flung at you all the time. Because even in the fight sequences are often interspersed with other things that are happening to other characters.
Yeah, it's not...
You're getting a lot of information.
It's not actually an action-heavy film at all, by any means.
But the action itself is split up, is divided up with these little, pieces
because
of
the alleyway scene, the alleyway fight scene is intercut with Manhattan's interview when they drop the cancer bomb on him.
Yeah, and him getting overwhelmed. The only one that wouldn't have it realistically is the Assassin Veet sequence. But that's featuring a lot of slow motion, and it is very very short.
Scene, yeah.
With the great bit of, he's got a suicide pill, don't bite down.
Don't bite down, and the look on your man's face of, no, what? No, I don't. What's he talking about?
That's so funny because it's so dramatic the way he says it, and it sounds so scripted and rehearsed.
Yeah.
Where he's like, because as he's going, don't bite down, you bastard. Number one, that's not how you get something out of somebody's mouth. Anybody who has a dog.
It in there.
I know. Anybody who has a dog, though, would be like, that's not how you do that.
I think that is supposed to be one of the early hints. That if you do know that, you're like, hang on, he's not taking something out of it.
But it's also the way he says it, as I think it's his delivery of it, don't bite down, you bastard. Like, it's very, very dramatic.
I do like as well.
Theatre.
There is some nice, not necessarily over the top. There is some over the top symbolism as well. Yeah. But one of the things I really like is when they're investigating in Veet's office and
he's got the
Narmer palette is up, and I just
Narmer Menzies, because they can't. They're pretty sure it's the same person.
Yeah, but it is credited with being the king who united Egypt.
Yeah,
and Veet's plan to unite the whole world. It's a nice little touch, and there's quite a few nice little touches throughout that. But one that I really really liked, and probably the last thing I'll talk about, is in the comics. Veet asks for Manhattan's kind of approval and asks, my plan will work out, it'll be all right in the end. And Manhattan tells him nothing ever ends and then fucks off, and Veet's kind of left there going, oh. I like how in this, it's Dan who kind of has the last jab at him, and that it's not this God saying, oh, it might not work out as well as you think it is. It's Dan saying, you haven't created a perfect world, you've again, I can't remember exactly how he phrases it, but he basically says you've crippled the world and you've made it a parody of itself. You haven't freed it, and I like that it's a human.
But also, Dan
telling that to
very
him.
much fulfills the social conscious aspect of this film. Dan is the voice of the little man. Rorschach is very much stuck to his convictions and it's his idea of what is right and wrong. Laurie doesn't Laurie's easily swayed, I think. Like, she's willing.
Well, do we know what
Laurie's
values?
stances?
Do we know what Laurie values apart from humanity in general?
Yeah, like, she's just doing it because, oh no, it's wrong.
Yeah.
Dan is the only one who seems to be like, no, you can't do this. Like, you can't say
like
that you're protecting society and humanity and then, wipe out most of them.
Yeah, to
like, how
to
do
force it
know?
into your view of what you think will be.
Like,
it's not freedom.
What gives you the right to do that? Like, Manhattan wouldn't even do that.
Yeah. Well, Manhattan could have if he wanted to.
Yeah, he could have fixed the world a long time ago, and he doesn't. He's working with Adrian to solve the energy crisis, and that's his whole thing, is if we can do this, we might be able to avert it. And if we can give the world something like this, that's beneficial to them, instead of me just going kapow and it all being better. That's a learning experience too. Yeah,
and I like that Rorschach then has that line of, it's convenient that you find your humanity now.
Yeah.
If you had found it earlier, none of this would have happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I do. I won't say that I love this film, but I do enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as the rap. It doesn't say it has a worse rap than I think maybe it should.
Yeah.
Definitely has some of its issues, but it's still enjoyable. I still enjoyed it.
Yeah. No, it is. It's one that I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, I'm going to stay and watch this.
I'm not going to rush back to watch it, especially considering it took us 5 hours to sit through the 2.5 hours on the second watch because we kept getting distracted. But no, it's fun.
It is. It's one of those ones. It's a rainy Sunday afternoon type of film.
Yeah.
The long dark tea time of the soul.
Yeah.
This is when you put this on.
Yeah, it's no Dog Soldiers. I wouldn't watch it twice in a row.
I have just had a big dirty roast dinner.
Yeah, and I can't move for 3 hours.
I can't move for 3 hours, and I need to just be comfortable.
I can't even move to change the channel, so I want to put on something that takes 3 hours.
Yeah, I just got to be comfortable and digest, and it's raining, and I have the fire lit, and I'm going to watch this. Yeah.
So no, I mean, it's still, I don't know, I don't know how well it fits to our may have seen at house parties bill, but hey, it's my podcast.
No, it would have been one of those ones, like, Watchmen the comic book was one of these ones that was very similar to all the Alan Moores, where it kind of either you stumble upon them or it's like word of mouth. Where Watchmen has been one of those ones that's always been held up as a pinnacle of the satirical superhero genre.
The comic itself would have been talked about in the same way as some of the movies that you would have seen at house parties. It's like,
you
have to read this comic.
Somebody's older brother had it.
Yeah.
It was that type of thing, or somebody's like, your cool uncle had it.
Yeah.
And the movie kind of has that as well, because I honestly, I don't think people who had no idea of the comic book and had no idea of kind of the story of it and the cultural impact of it going into the movie, I think got very, very confused. So
understandably so.
Yeah, there is a lot in it, and you're thrown in, and these are very much parodies of in-world characters.
Yeah.
And if you're not familiar with what Alan Moore likes to do as well, like, I know he has taken his name off this, he takes his name off anything that's not a graphic novel, which is his right to do so.
Oh, yeah.
He does tend to go very out there.
Yeah, Alan Moore doesn't write straightforward comic books.
No, but he also there's also a lot of extremely heavy social criticism and satire involved in it. And if you went into this going, oh, it's just a comic book movie, no.
No, but I mean, I think even at the time, like when it was released in the cinema, I think everybody knew. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people who went to knew it wasn't your standard comic book film.
The people who were going to see this, who were really excited about, were people who had read it.
Yeah, now if you came across it and you didn't have the ads on TV saying, based on the seminal comic book by Alan Moore.
No idea.
Yeah, you might not know what you were getting into, but it's still, I really enjoy it.
It is well worth a watch, just to watch it.
Yeah, I wouldn't go so far as to say I love it. But I enjoyed it.
It is worth watching to actually take in. It will...
Read the comic, definitely.
Yeah, I think as well, like, we spend a lot of our time, whenever we're discussing this, debating the philosophical points of it, like, is...
Oh, like Manhattan's Turn.
Manhattan's Turn, do the ends justify the means? There's a lot of that kind of going on in it as well. So it's interesting from a philosophical point of view.
Yeah, but I think
if you want to spend 2 or 3 hours with your mates having a fight over who's right, this is the movie to have that fight with.
Well, there's plenty of films that you can do that with, but I think
no, but this is a good one for it.
It is, but most of that all that meaty stuff comes from the comics rather than anything Zack Snyder put into it. So I don't want to give him too much credit for that. But it's still, no, I enjoy it. Visually, it's a stunning film. That opening, fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Really enjoy the change he made to the ending. Really enjoy Rorschach and the comedian in particular. And we talked about a couple of things that we didn't like. But I'd say the good outweighs the bad overall.
The one massive negative I have for it is the length. Is the running time. Like, either if you're gonna do something that long, just make it a miniseries. I'd appreciate it. As a viewer, it's something I would be more drawn to.
That's us though.
That
is definitely us.
No, but that was a long ass time in the cinema with that, especially when you were like, I need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah. And I mean, in fairness, we've spent near an hour and a half talking about it. Imagine if we had watched the 3-hour one, or the one that includes...
We'd still be trying to watch
the one that includes the Tales of the Black Freighter and Under the Hood.
No, thankfully we have
we'd be talking till next week. But speaking of next week, it's been a while since we've said it, but we'll
no idea what we're doing.
No idea what we're doing next week.
Whatever we have a fight about or find.
It feels good to say that.
Once again, any suggestions, always appreciated.
Yep. Let us know what you would like us to cover in the future. Otherwise, we're just going to keep covering whatever the hell we want. But thanks for coming back to join us, guys. We'll be back next week. And in the meantime, if you want, we've just finished covering season 3 of The Boys over on Mono Rants The Boys. You'll find everything related to The Boys there. Seasons 1 to 3, Diabolical, and our thoughts on the 7-on-7 segments. But for now, we're back to talking our bad taste in movies. And with, 19 down now? And many, many more to come. We'll have plenty of bad takes and shitting on movies to come. But if you want to come and chat with us on the socials, you can find us on Twitter at rantsmono. You can find us on Instagram at monorants_the_boys. Or you can send your own rants to monorantspodcast@gmail.com. See you guys next week. Bye-bye.
We are Science Fiction Remnant.
This is the Funny Science Fiction Podcast.
We are the Caribbean Science Fiction Network.
We are Monorants.
We are One Accord Level 2 Podcast.
This is Sci-Fi.